Good morning. I'd like to formally welcome everyone, including members of the gallery and press, to this council meeting. My name is Councillor Sarah Hayden and I am the Mayor of the Golden Plains Shire Council. This council meeting, which is open to the public, is taking place online. This meeting is being live streamed in accordance with Council's governance rules, and I welcome any viewers joining us online. I will now recite the opening declaration on behalf of all councillors. We, the councillors of Golden Plains Shire, declare that we will undertake, on every occasion, to carry out our duties in the best interest of the community, and that our conduct shall maintain the standards of the Code of Good Governance, so that we may faithfully represent and uphold the trust placed in this council by the people of Golden Plains Shire. Golden Plains Shire spans the traditional lands of the Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar people. Council acknowledges them as the traditional owners and custodians and pays its respects to both Wadawurrung and Eastern Maar elders past, present and emerging. Council extends that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are part of Golden Plains Shire. Now we move on to apologies and leave of absence. Are there any apologies for this meeting or requests for leaves of absence?
Yes, Mayor Hayden. Councillor Des Phelan is an apology, as are Director Gray and Director Josipovic.
Thank you. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest? No. We will now move to item 5.1. I refer councillors to page 8 of the agenda for this report. Recommendation is that Council adopts the following schedule for the 2025 scheduled Council meetings and Audit and Risk Committee meetings. Are there any questions of clarification? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, Mayor Hayden. Yes, I was just wondering if the Director might be able to inform us. Is there any intentions of having a oh God, I kind of lost it. Having a ramp built in Linton at the offices at the building there?
Thank you.
Can everybody hear me? Sorry, thank you. Through you, Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question, Councillor Kirby. Currently, there's no plans to pop a ramp in at the Linton Hall. However, I would just like to add that a ramp would not actually meet the DDA compliance needs of that.
Point of order, Councillor Sharkey.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear the question there, but the question has no relevance whatsoever to the report and the recommendation in front of us.
It does, Councillor Sharkey. It's in the report.
There is a reference in the report. Thank you, Councillor Sharkey. Director Wheatland, you can continue.
Thank you. Sorry, I was just going to add that even with a ramp attached to that building, it would not meet the DDA, the levels of DDA that we would expect for a council meeting to enable access for people with a disability. There's a range of other concerns at that particular building, just given its age. There's small. Sorry, the doorways are narrow, but there's also small steps in each of the doorways that would be an inhibitor for anybody with mobility requirements. They're just some of the issues. There's also only one toilet in the entire building, so there's a range of issues that a ramp would not fix at that building.
Thank you, Councillor Wheat. Calling you councillor now. Thank you, Director Wheatland.
Are there any other questions of clarification? No, it looks like we have no further questions. So I'll move. Do I have a mover of the recommendation? Councillor Robbins, Councillor Kirby. Sorry, Councillor Robbins, and do I have a seconder? Councillor Sharkey, thank you. Mover, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes, so I support the recommendation. I think that it's a good idea to keep the meetings at 6 p.m. I think they're working well. It's an accessible time for community members to attend and ask questions. It's also more suitable to my work schedule. And yeah, there's a good balance of meetings between Bannockburn and Smythesdale, so I support the recommendation.
Thank you. Seconder, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Yeah, happy to also support the recommendation. I must express my disappointment that we're here at this time and not having been able to sort this out at the last meeting. But this agenda item for the last number of years has been played round somewhat like a football. This is quite an easy decision for us. We've moved times from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We've gone against recommendations in the past. We've created a lot of stress and a lot of issues on a problem that shouldn't be this difficult. Linton, unfortunately, has come to that stage of its life where the building needs sufficient and additional work done to it. We have received extensive reports, particularly us existing councillors. We have received reports on the viability of the internet not being sufficed there, as I mentioned in the last meeting. And I think this one point alone is that we have councillors. I'm zooming in here from Ireland, and everyone's zooming in here. I would not be able to attend a meeting at Linton, or any councillor wouldn't be able to attend a meeting if held at Linton due to the internet facility. Now that's fact. We've given all that information before in the past. So I don't think that we're letting down the community at all. I think that community members can quite simply head down to Smythesdale, and I particularly, on this matter, I do particularly speak to Councillor Robbins and Councillor Phelan on this one, who are the voice of the north part of the Shire, and that they are supporting this and understanding that it's the right way to go forward. So I do express my frustration that over the last few years we've made this agenda item quite difficult on officers. It's not that difficult of a decision. Smythesdale is suffice, and there's other ways and measures that we as councillors and a council can head up to Linton and do community service there by consultation and other measures. But let's also appreciate that the majority of the Shire to the south, that's where the large parts of the population is, and we're heading up, and we've got the balance there of nearly 50% meetings to the north and 50 to the south. We don't go off to all the other small townships in the Shire, and I think this is a recommendation that has come quite well put to us, and I feel it's quite a simple and straightforward decision that unfortunately we've made extremely hard work of. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sharkey. Are there any councillors who wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, Mayor Hayden. I'd like to move an amendment.
Thank you. What is the amendment? Thank you, Councillor Kirby.
The amendment is to move 2 meetings from Smythesdale to Linton from the 25th of March from Smythesdale to Linton, and the 25th of November 25 from Smythesdale to Linton.
Do I have a seconder of that amended motion? No, we don't. Being no seconder, that amendment lapses. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Kirby.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, first of all, I would just like to say that as a council group, we have never moved a resolution to close the building in Linton and move it to Smythesdale. As a councillor group, this has never come before us, and I feel that
Point of order, Councillor Robbins.
We're not talking about closing the building. There's no basis for suggesting that we're closing the building.
The reference is closing the building for a public council meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Robbins.
So if I may continue.
I think we just need to get some clarification required around that point. Thank you, Councillor Robbins, that we're not closing the council building at all, even for the meetings. Just around identifying appropriate locations for the meetings. Thank you. Councillor Kirby, did you wish to add anything further?
Yes, so I just wish that as a council group this could have come before us, and I feel that at the moment the Linton building is all right, and we might say that it's not acceptable because we do not have wheelchair access there at the moment. But as a council, I'm very concerned about the community groups that are using it, and why is there not wheelchair access for those groups when we as a council are responsible for that building? We own it. So that is just one point I would like to put forward. I think that as a council group, once again, we're just letting the people of Linton down. I feel that we're just not going forward and thinking about the history of the building. As we know, it was built in 1861 for council meetings, and it's just a shame that as a council we're not looking after the people of Linton. We're not considering the building and the heritage aspects of it for the future. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Kirby. Anyone else wishing to speak? Hoover, do you wish to close?
Yes. To enable online attendance and simultaneously provide a quality live stream, we would need high upload bandwidth, and that isn't supported by the available infrastructure in Linton. That's the information that's been provided to councillors several times and it hasn't been refuted. Furthermore, Councillor Kirby has asserted that we don't want to lose the building at Linton. There's no basis for suggesting that's likely to occur if we don't hold council meetings in Linton in 2025. The building is well utilised and there's a management group that was established a few months ago to secure the long-term future of the building. As far as councillors needing to spend more time in Linton, I myself have spent quite a lot of time in Linton. It's only about 10 minutes down the road from my home, and I'd be very happy to attend other events organised in Linton. But the advice we have is that the hall in Linton doesn't have suitable facilities for our council meetings in 2025. So to push on and resolve to hold the meetings there anyway wouldn't be reasonable in my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Robbins. I'll now put the motion. All those in favour? And all those against? Councillor Kirby, thank you. The motion is carried.
I will call a division, please.
Division's been called. All those in favour? Councillor Cunningham, Councillor Robbins, Councillor Sharkey, Councillor Hayden. All those against? Councillor Kirby. Motion is carried. We will now close the meeting. There being no further items of business, I declare the